Everybody, we're hanging out with Ed Sheeran right now.
The stage is silent. A single spotlight cuts through the darkness, illuminating a lone figure with a worn acoustic guitar. The crowd waits, tens of thousands holding their breath at Wembley Stadium. And then a voice, soft, honest, unfiltered. That voice belongs to Ed Sheeran, a name now etched into music history. But before the platinum records, before the sold-out arenas, before Shape of You shattered streaming records, there was a boy from a small English town who just wouldn't give up. He wasn't born into fame. He didn't fit the mold of a pop star. Ginger hair, shy eyes, hand-me-down guitars. He was rejected, ignored, told his dream was unrealistic. But instead of breaking, he played, night after night. Street corners, dingy pubs, living rooms, anywhere that would listen. So how did Ed Sheeran rise from sleeping on friends' sofas to becoming one of the most streamed artists in the world? This is the untold story of heartbreak, hustle, and the melody that turned pain into poetry. A story that proves even the quietest voice can echo louder than the noise of the world. Ed Sheeran was born on February 17, 1991, in Halifax, West Yorkshire, England, a small industrial town far from the glitz of London. His father, John, was an art curator. His mother, Imogen, a jewelry designer. Creativity filled their modest home, but money did not. When Ed was still a toddler, the family moved to Framlingham, a quiet village in Suffolk. There he grew up surrounded by rolling fields, church bells, and the hum of a close-knit community. But behind that peaceful setting, young Ed often felt out of place. He was the awkward redheaded kid with big glasses and a stutter, an easy target for bullies. Music became his escape. He found comfort in his parents' old records, Bob Dylan, Van Morrison, Eric Clapton, and began learning guitar before he turned 10. By 11, he was writing songs in his bedroom, recording rough demos on cheap cassette tapes. His father often took him to live concerts, planting the seed of a dream. One day, Ed thought, that'll be me up there. It wasn't fame he craved, it was connection, a chance to be heard. And though he couldn't have known it then, those quiet days in Framlingham would give birth to one of the most recognizable sounds in modern music. At 16, Ed made a decision that would change his life. He dropped out of school, grabbed his guitar, and boarded a train to London. No plan, no money, just a head full of songs and a stubborn belief that somehow he'd make it. The city was brutal. He spent nights sleeping on friends' sofas, in subway stations, even outside recording studios when he had nowhere else to go. During the day, he played open mics, tiny pubs, and street corners, performing up to 300 shows a year. He sold self-made CDs from his backpack, earning just enough to eat. In those dark years, rejection was constant. Record labels turned him away, critics ignored him, and his voice was dismissed as too soft and too plain. But Ed didn't stop. He wrote, recorded, and posted his songs online, slowly building a small but loyal fan base. Then came 2010, the turning point. His EP, Loose Change, featuring the A-Team, caught fire on YouTube. That song, raw and haunting, would change everything. Hollywood actor Jamie Foxx heard it, invited Ed to Los Angeles, and gave him studio access. For the first time, someone powerful believed in him. Ed Sheeran, the boy who sang on the streets, was finally being heard by the world. In 2011, the world finally caught up with the voice it had been missing. Ed released his debut album Plus, a collection of heartfelt ballads that spoke to an entire generation. The A-Team, Lego House, Give Me Love, songs written from nights of loneliness and dreams deferred, became global hits. Overnight, the redheaded Busker turned into Britain's newest sensation. But Ed wasn't just chasing charts. He was rewriting the rules of pop music. Armed with a loop pedal and a guitar, he filled entire arenas with nothing more than rhythm and honesty. Every show was live, raw, unpredictable, and fans connected with that truth. Then came X, Multiply, in 2014, and with it, superstardom. Thinking Out Loud became a modern wedding anthem, earning him 2 Grammys, while the album topped charts across 80 countries. By 2017, he shattered every record imaginable with Moo, Divide. Shape of You became the most streamed song in Spotify history, with billions of plays. That same year, he sold out 3 nights at Wembley Stadium, performing alone, without a band, in front of 240,000 people. It was the ultimate full-circle moment. A man once ignored by the industry, now owning the stage they said he'd never reach. Ed Sheeran had become more than a musician. He was a phenomenon. His story was no longer about struggle, but about conquering the world with sincerity, one song at a time. At the height of his fame, Ed Sheeran's life looked flawless. Money, awards, global tours, and love songs that ruled every playlist. But behind the curtain, cracks began to show. Success had become a storm he couldn't escape. He was touring for months without rest, performing in front of millions yet feeling completely alone. The pressure to keep topping his own success, hit after hit, became unbearable. Then came the headlines. Critics accused him of being too commercial, claiming his songs were mathematically designed to sell. In 2018, he faced a massive plagiarism lawsuit over Shape of You, one of the biggest hits of his career. For years, the case haunted him. Headlines twisting the story, people questioning his integrity. Ed later admitted it nearly broke him. And while the world saw a smiling superstar, behind closed doors he struggled with anxiety, alcohol dependency, and the weight of fame. He once confessed, "I wasn't making music for joy anymore. I was just trying to survive it." When his best friend and mentor Jamal Edwards passed away in 2022, the loss hit him harder than any critic ever could. He withdrew from public life, questioning everything he'd built. The man who had once turned pain into melody now had to find music inside the silence. But Ed Sheeran wasn't done yet. He was about to prove that even broken hearts can still create beautiful songs. After years of chaos and noise, Ed Sheeran chose silence. He stepped away from the spotlight, away from the endless cycle of fame, and returned to what first gave him peace: family and music. In 2019, he quietly married Cherry Seaborn, his childhood friend, and soon after became a father. The arrival of his daughter changed everything. It stopped being about charts, he said. It started being about moments. With this new perspective, Ed began to write again. Not from pressure, but from love. The result was Cho Equals, an album born from stillness rather than ambition. Songs like Visiting Hours and Bad Habits revealed a more mature artist, one who had learned to balance success with vulnerability. He also began using his fame for good. Through the Ed Sheeran Suffolk Music Foundation, he funded music programs for underprivileged children, giving others the same chance he once fought for. When he returned to touring with the Mathematics Tour, fans noticed something different. He wasn't chasing applause anymore. He was sharing gratitude. Ed Sheeran had reinvented himself, not as the world's biggest pop star, but as a man who finally understood what his music was truly for: connection, healing, and hope. Today, Ed Sheeran stands as one of the best-selling artists of the 21st century, a man who turned rejection into rhythm and heartbreak into harmony. He's not just a chart topper, he's a storyteller whose words have comforted millions. From the A-Team to Perfect, his songs speak to something universal: love, loss, and the quiet beauty of being human. He never needed pyrotechnics or flashy choreography. His weapon was sincerity, a guitar, a loop pedal, and truth. But perhaps his greatest legacy isn't the awards or records. It's his reminder that talent without persistence fades, but persistence without privilege can still move mountains. Ed Sheeran's journey is proof that you don't have to look or sound like everyone else to change the world. You just have to believe. And keep singing when no one's listening. From sleeping on sofas to selling out stadiums, Ed Sheeran's life is a melody of resilience. And for anyone chasing an impossible dream, his story whispers one message: don't stop playing your song. Like, share, and subscribe for more untold stories behind Hollywood's brightest stars.